Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise. Let's take a look at tonight's captains. First for Buchanan, number 29, Ceci Vang. Number 70, Jason Franco. Number 4, Reese Bacon. And number 6, Tanner Blunt. For Liberty, number 65, Daniel Viveros. Number 51, Ryan Aguilar. Number 34, Anthony Villanueva. And number 5, Sam Stewart Jr. Your officials for tonight's game are referee Joe Saldivar, umpire Bob Williams, head linesman Brian Landis.
White has won the toss. They've chosen to defer.
Line judge Les Huber, back judge Ricky Serrano, and box Arnold Laura.
First half, we will have football. Gentlemen, have a great ball game.
So Buchanan wins the toss. They defer. Liberty will receive the ball to start the first half. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise in honor of our country. Please remove your hats and head coverings for the Liberty High School Marching Patriot Band as they perform our national anthem under the direction of Jason Armstead. And tonight's trumpet soloist is Jared White. Ladies and gentlemen, the Liberty High School Marching Patriot Band, under the direction of Jason Armstead and tonight's trumpet soloist Jared White.
Yeah, we're ready whenever you're ready. Well, hey everybody, I'm Louis Amastoy here for the Kern High Network. We are at Liberty High School, joined by Rick Van Horn, coming back for a little bit of a reunion for you here at your old stomping grounds, the Liberty Patriots. You were the first head coach of this program, and you've had a chance to see the Patriots in action tonight. They face a very good team in Buchanan right now. Give me your initial thoughts on what we're going to see tonight.
Well, I think I've seen Liberty, and Liberty's very solid. Both offense, defense, special teams, everything they do. Strong running game. on the other hand, with Buchanan, strong defense, great running game. So I think you're going to see two evenly matched teams tonight. Probably two of the top four. Two of these teams, or one of these teams, are going to be in the Valley Finals.
Well, and we're talking about that before the start of the game here, was that these four teams, there's four teams that are kind of in the hunt, and Central being number one, and Bakersfield number two, and Buchanan and Liberty right there as well. All of these schools have played very difficult sort of first three games. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, and the bad thing about it is Buchanan goes to De La Salle next week,
Right.
and then they go to Central.
Right.
So a lot of these schools, when we hit the Valley Finals, they would have played each other.
Yes.
Other than Bakersfield haven't played Buchanan or Central, but they'll play Liberty and so it'll be interesting.
Well, Liberty comes into this game at 2-1 on the season. The one loss was against Mission Viejo, ranked 11th in the state. They're not afraid to go out and play people, as they've seen in the first couple games.
Yeah, and Mission Viejo's 3-0 in the year. Beat some good teams. Beat Norco last week, which is always an outstanding program. So losing to Mission Viejo is no slouch. Just as Bakersfield High lost to Servite, who's I believe they're 3-0 now. Who also plays a strong schedule. So losing to those guys, BHS was a lot closer, 17-7. But losing to Mission Viejo 34-10 is nothing to sneeze about.
Right. Let's just scoot around you here, and we're going to get ready to call this game. Rick Van Horn and myself. Once again, Louis Hamastoy here from Liberty High School as we get ready for the kickoff. Buchanan won the toss, and they will get the ball. They will kick the ball. They deferred to the second half to Liberty.
With a record of 2-1.
Liberty will receive here. As we mentioned, Buchanan comes into the game 3-0 out of the track under fourth-year coach Mike Giordano, who's done a great job of getting this program kind of back to where it needed to be. The Clovis schools are so good at everything right now. But Buchanan was down for a long period of time. In fact, they're only 2-8 against Liberty all time, and they never won here.
They were, and it's a different Buchanan team we're seeing. In the 90s, they threw the ball. In the early 2000s, they came out and they threw the ball. They were throwing the ball 40 times a game. Now with Matt Giordano, who's an SCDB, former Buchanan player, they're playing defense and running the ball.
Kicking the ball off tonight with number 89, Race Mahellam. Buchanan made an appearance in the Valley Finals last year where they lost to Central. And that's going to go right into the end zone. It'll be right out to the 20-yard line. Talking about Liberty here, Rick, your thoughts? Defensively, they played very well at times. They shut out Ridgeview. What do they need to do tonight offensively?
Well, they need to stop the running game first and foremost. And this kid's quarterback is only a sophomore for Buchanan. He's only thrown for 233 yards on the season. So their bread and butter is the run game. So Liberty has got a great defensive line, and I think they'll do well.
Sam Stewart, the setback, number 5, and Connor Matsky, I think is back there, number 7. Actually, Hector Gonzalez is the quarterback, number 1. Man in motion, handoff to Stewart up the middle, breaks a tackle and pulled down around to the 26-yard line. They're going to put it right back at the 25. So a run there by number 5, Stewart, for 5 yards. 2nd and 5 now from the 25. 11:42 to go on the clock here, just starting here in the first quarter from Liberty. Gonzalez hands it off again to the right side, and not much going. Stewart will basically be held for no gain.
Hector Gonzalez, the transfer from Redwood High School last year, has shown that he's a proficient short yardage or short distance passer. Not much of a runner, but is a very adequate passer.
So they're going to give him about a yard on that play. 3rd down and 5 from the 26-yard line. 11 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Out of the shotgun, Gonzalez Looking to pass, little swing pass out to number 23. That is Winston Jonty. And Jonty makes his way up to the 30-yard line, and it'll probably be a first down here.
Reese Bacon at the 30-yard line, and that is a
first down.
Patriot first down.
So what do you think about that play there, Rick?
Well,
6-yard gain,
like I said, short, intermediate pass routes, and Hector Gonzalez is very good at that, and that's what they need. That's just an extended run play for the Patriots.
First and 10 now from the 31-yard line of Liberty. 3 wide receivers on the top. Short pass to Stewart, and he can't hold on to it and drops it. And he had room there for a first down.
Actually, a great call by Coach Nixon, kind of an option route there. He's got an option to go in or out, just drop the ball. Early on, though, they're going to have to test. They've got Ramon Henderson out here, number 11, so that's their big deep threat.
And going to go right to Stewart. He's going to find a little bit of running room and break up to about the 34-yard line. Number 90 on the line, Chase Bibler, was the man who on the tackle for Buchanan. That'll be 3rd and about 7 here from the 34-yard line.
Going back to Henderson, the transfer from Independence, he's their deep ball threat, so they're going to have to go to him early to kind of test the Buchanan secondary.
So as you mentioned, Rick, it's 3rd and 7 now. Then what the call will be 2 receivers on the near side, 2 receivers up top. Gonzalez is going to scramble, is going to pick up a block on the run right to the middle, and the catch is made by number 11, Ramon Henderson. So there it is, right where you said it would be. And a first down, and the drive continues to move up to the 49-yard line, so a 15-yard gain.
And number 7, Brock Jones combining on the
second
first down.
And they're going to go for it right now, quickly. Keep it moving. Hand off to Stewart. Stewart finds a little bit of room and gets through to about into Buchanan territory at the 47-yard line. 4-yard pickup.
6-yard line, number 90.
What does having a running back like Stewart do for you offensively?
Well, it gives you a lot of confidence, especially on early downs, 1st and 2nd down. So you know you're going to hand it to that guy, and he's going to get at least 4 yards.
He's also getting out of the shotgun. 3 receivers on the near side. It's going to be a little run to the left side for Stewart, and not much room.
Stewart Jr.
Looks like he'll get back to the line of scrimmage there for 3rd down.
The other thing you're going to see out of Stewart is you're not going to see a lot of solo tackles against him. It's going to take 2-3 guys to bring Stewart down.
3rd down and 5.
3rd and 5 now here at 8:31 to go in the first quarter. Gonzalez out of the shotgun. Stewart just to the left side. Quick throw outside to Henderson. Henderson makes the catch. And right at the 38-yard line, Ramon Henderson. What do you think about that call?
First down.
Good. Great call. You know, he's again, intermediate, short routes. Hector Gonzalez is very good at that. Got a strong arm. Big kid, 6'2", 190.
Another first down is
they're gonna double move Henderson here pretty quick because they've ran him on short routes, and now they're gonna eventually throw deep to him this first half.
Henderson wide up on the outside. Gonzalez going to scramble out to his left. He's going to make some room. He's going to run it. He's got plenty of room, and he takes a slide right about the 24-yard line. So a keeper for Gonzalez, and he got it done with his legs that time for a 13-yard pickup. 1st and 10 again.
He did. Nice run by Gonzalez to keep the drive alive and staying ahead of the chains.
Trips up on the far side. Stewart just to the right. Gonzalez, quick throw to 23, Jonty. Jonty's going to try to break a tackle, get up to about the 15-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 16-yard line. So the little quick pitch throws
and that's kind of a hot route. So Jonty was uncovered that time, so that's a pre-snap audible that Hector knows he's going to come up and hit Jonty right away.
8-yard pickup, 2nd and 2 from the 16. A very positive drive here for the Patriots. Nearly 5 minutes off the clock here to start off, and then run to Stewart right to the 15, picks up about a yard.
At the 15 by number 40, Jack Bankston.
I tell you what, the positives here so far, there's been no penalties. They keep moving the ball.
Less than a yard.
This is what Liberty needs to do right here.
3rd and 1. They mark it right at the 15 for the Patriots at the Buchanan 15-yard line. 6:35 on the clock and running. Under center, he's going to push it right through and they get the first down. So they put Gonzalez under center and push it right through, and that is a first down. And that'll be a 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line of Buchanan. This drive has been very impressive, starting at their own 20. This is a tough one.
10 Liberty on the Buchanan 13-yard
A reminder
line.
that the day started out here. This game started to kick off at 92 degrees. Handoff. That's number 34 for Liberty. Anthony Villanueva, senior running back. He is going to be held for pretty much no gain there. 2nd and 10 from the 13.
And fans down on the track right now are the
We talked about this a couple weeks ago when we had the Ridgeview Liberty game. Is Liberty's basically a three-headed monster. They've got 3 good running backs with Sam Stewart, Villanueva, and Jonte.
Right. And they've been putting Jonte out as a receiver most of the night. Gonzalez on the shotgun. 2nd down and a little bubble pass, almost a run to number 7.
Connor Matsky with the
Connor
reception,
Matsky.
but immediately dropped.
And this
by
drive
number
is suddenly
24,
stalled a
Charles
little bit.
Jones.
Well, sometimes you do that you can't run the ball every play. So
Right.
you kind of keep the defense honest by throwing those little bubble screens, those little short passes,
Bears 15.
just to keep them thinking about that pass.
The first negative play of the drive for the Patriots. This is the 16th play of this drive. And I'm not sure what the delay is. The white hat coming over, and he will put the ball into play here. Clock running here, getting ready to go under 5 minutes. An epic drive to start things off here for the Patriots, but it's 3rd and 12. And now we are going to, looks like we have a timeout.
Timeout, Liberty.
Liberty calls
That's
timeout.
the first timeout of the first half.
So if you're Brian Nixon, what do you call here? What are you trying to do?
Well, you're in field goal range right now. You've got a very good field goal kicker in Blevins, and so you don't want to get out of that 3-point range.
Right.
So
on the flip side of this, with the heat like this is, and you've been pushed around defensively for almost 7 minutes now, what does Buchanan say? What does the defensive coordinator of Buchanan say to his team?
well, they hang their hat on their defense.
Right.
So, and unlike playing an LA team where they come down here and the heat is just unbearable, these guys are Fresno.
They're used to it.
It's 92 in Fresno too.
Right.
So they practice in the same stuff that we do down here. So they're used to it. Very tough kids, just like we have down here.
Right.
So we're not going to do anything. We might take a chance and throw a fade to Henderson, but we're not going to take a sack, or we're not going to do anything dumb to get out of field goal range here.
3 receivers on the near side.
We've got press coverage on Henderson up top.
They kick off and then right to the slant to Jonte. He can't hold on to it. And it was right there, and it just looked like he was trying to turn, and then
Ball was thrown a little behind him, but a nice safe pass for the Patriots. And a 32-yard field goal, which should be right in the wheelhouse of Blevins.
so a 17-play drive that consumes 7 minutes and 9 seconds of the first quarter.
And only get 3
And only
points
get
out of it.
3 out of that.
Yeah, that's not what you like to see, but they'll take it in this kind of game.
Impressive opening drive for Liberty, coming up with a 33-yard field goal, and it's going to just get through, hits the crossbar, and goes across.
33-yard field goal is up and good. 4:45 to go in the opening.
Well, 3 is 3. It doesn't matter how it goes through.
Right. So a 33-yard field goal by number 37, Brandon Blevins, and Braden Blevins, and he just kind of, it didn't look like it was going to go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It kept going, and then it just hit the bottom of the bar and went through for 3. So at 4:45, Liberty takes a 3-0 lead. And now we'll see how Buchanan responds. In the first 3 games of the year, Buchanan, which has wins over Paso Robles, Edison, and Bullard, they have rushed for nearly 900 yards in those 3 games, averaging a little over 280 a game. So that's going to be a challenge for this defense tonight. They've not thrown the ball very much, but we'll see what happens. Blevins now will be kicking off to the 2 deep backs for Buchanan. Milton and number 15, that's Ortiz. Ortiz with the ball at the 5, breaks it up to the 20, and runs into some Liberty blockers right there at the 21-yard line, marked at the 22. So that's where Liberty will try to shut down Buchanan's running game here in the second drive of the game with 4:38 to go here in the first quarter.
Well, the strength of the Liberty defense is their defensive line. Those 4 guys up there shut down Ridgeview, and that's the strength of this group right here. So good linebackers, Villanueva and Stewart. So they're pretty solid.
So come out with 5 receivers set here for Buchanan. DJ Stevenson, the quarterback, throws short and no good. That is down low at the 25-yard line. So incomplete pass by number 18.
See right there, I can tell Stevenson, who's only a sophomore, is not going to beat you passing the ball.
Quarterback for Buchanan, number 5, Jalen Cropper.
And which works into Liberty favor.
Right. It's interesting they show this formation almost like a modified wing T, and then they jump out into a 5-receiver set. Man in motion. And Stevenson with a keeper. He's got a hole. He's going to break it up to about the 30. Breaks a tackle and pulled down at the 32-yard line by number 4, Jacob O'Connell.
That was kind of a wildcat. That's Jalen Cooper. And he's a receiver, and they put him at quarterback. They took Stevenson out, so that's kind of a wildcat formation where it was just kind of a quarterback or a draw there. I guess there's a fumble fest at Ridgeview BHS tonight. First 2 plays BHS has had, they fumbled and lost both of them.
All right, first down, and he drops the ball, and he gets it back. Stevenson had dropped the ball, and it's going to be a loss right back to the 28-yard line.
Loss back to the 29-yard line. That's a 4-yard loss.
That brings it to 2nd and 14 from the 28. Fumble fest are never fun. Never fun at all.
No.
Stevenson now looking, throwing to the middle, and it's dropped there by number 15, Vinny Ortiz. So that brings up 2nd.
Stevenson's pass in and out of
3rd and 14.
The 15, Vinny Ortiz.
So Buchanan already facing a long 3rd down here, and the passing game has not been their strong suit yet this season.
Well, we haven't seen Willems, that heralded running back they have. We hadn't carried the ball once, so which tells me, Buchanan's kind of puckering a little bit.
And Again, drops back. He's got under pressure. He's got room up the middle, though. Breaks a tackle. Going to scoot out to the 47-yard line for first down.
First down. Knocked down by number 3, Dylan Tucker.
So out to the 47-yard line.
On the Buchanan 48-yard line.
19-yard gain for Stevenson. Hate to see that on a 3rd and long.
It's going to happen. Stevenson's a pretty good athlete that can run, so you're going to give that up a little bit.
That's going to be a run to Milton. Milton doesn't have much room, and he's brought down right about the line of scrimmage.
Tackled by number 34, Anthony Villanueva. Assisted by number 5, Sam Stewart Jr. And 54, Sloan Simpson.
Give him a yard on that one, so 2nd and 9 from the 48. So Milton got a yard out of that. Milton is, nope, they got another quarterback in. Man in motion. This is, got a man wide open, number 10. Jump ball, he makes the catch though.
Cropper's pass is caught by number 10, Brandon Hernandez.
Brandon Hernandez not on the roster, on this roster that we have though.
R-O-W.
So Brandon Hernandez
Bolton with the tackle.
makes the catch, 1st and 10.
Liberty can't give up plays like that. You've got a receiver throwing the ball
33-yard
against a
pass play.
looked like a cover 3, but
1st and 10 from the 19-yard line of Liberty.
Liberty 19, Jalen Cropper.
And it was
at
Tanner
quarterback.
Blount who threw that ball. Actually, number 5. That was Jalen Cropper who
Number
threw
7,
the ball.
Brock Jones.
And
immediately
number 7 is
dropped by number
dropped.
34, Anthony Villanueva. A loss of 2 on the play.
It's going to be fun calling the Buchanan numbers because there's almost nobody right on the roster.
I know it. They gave about half the numbers, and that was it. They shut
just
it down.
gave up. They just
They
gave
said,
up.
the heck with it.
How hard it is to fill out a form online?
When you've had a couple months to do it,
Yeah,
you'd be surprised.
right. 2nd and 12 now from the 21.
Back at a quarterback, Stevenson.
Stevenson back at quarterback. They've run 2 guys in there. Hand off to Milton, and he's just met and
Hand off
stopped.
to Kendall
And they're going
Milton.
behind,
Immediately
And
stopped
they're going
by
to bring
number
that all the
5,
way back
Sam
to the
Stewart
23-yard
Jr.
line, a 2-yard
And
loss.
number 57,
3rd and
Bill
14
Ollinger.
from the 23. So the vaunted running game has not done much so far for Buchanan. It's been those surprising passes.
Well, it's been two plays. The quarterback,
Keeper.
which
On a busted play.
basically a scramble,
Yep.
and then the long pass there by the receiver. That we'll have to have a talk with Coach Jason Oliver, the DB coach for the Patriots. But you're going to see that the running backs and the vaunted running game from Buchanan
Right.
against that front 4 of Liberty is not going to get much. They're going to get their plays from the quarterback scrambles, maybe a busted play like they did on that long pass.
Right. And that is a penalty that puts it back to the 28-yard line, our first penalty of the game here. We have 26 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Long pass again to the corner. The man there, and that's going to be pass interference for sure. On Henderson, I think it is, number 11.
Is incomplete. There is a penalty flag in the end zone.
No doubt in my mind that was a pass interference.
Definitely looked like it from up here.
And that will keep the drive alive for Buchanan.
Defensive pass interference. 15-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
So not enough yards to get him to the first down marker, but makes it a 3rd and 4.
We're going to go half the distance. Still 3rd down.
Half the distance to the goal line. I'm not sure that's half the distance.
Pass interference assessed to Liberty.
15-yard penalty on that.
14-yard line of the Patriots.
So just inside the 15.
3rd and 5.
Bring up this 3rd down situation. 20 seconds to go on the clock. Liberty leads 3-0. Stevenson looking. Checks off, going to keep it again. And, oh, he is hit hard and breaks another tackle before he gets down to the 6-yard line, 5-yard line, called the 4. So 1st and goal now.
Goal to go for the Bears.
So a 3rd broken play run, a scramble, he gets loose, and he's hard to bring down.
He is. He is. Big kid and only a sophomore. So, but that's been their best offense so far.
Right.
Quarterback
Absolutely.
scrambles. So Liberty's all right.
We've got, the time is out now, so we have got the end of the 1st quarter here. What did you see? What did you like?
Well, I like Liberty. Liberty kind of, that first drive, 16, 17 plays, kind of exuded their dominance.
Right.
I don't see a lot of continuity with the Buchanan offense that we heard about.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be able to push Liberty around, so I'm thinking Liberty is looking pretty good.
Yeah, Liberty looked really good. If you're just joining us, they scored on a 35-yard field goal that looked like it was going to go right, looked like it was going to be short, and then somehow it reached the goalposts, hit the bottom of it, and bounced across for the field goal. That capped a 17-play drive that consumed nearly a little over 7 minutes of the 1st quarter. And now Buchanan has been helped by DJ Stevenson basically getting loose on scrambles, on broken plays to get them back into scoring position here. 1st and goal from the 4-yard line of the Patriots. So Liberty now backed up and see if they can hold here. Just remember that Buchanan has converted twice on 3rd down to keep this drive alive. Run to Milton, not going to happen. He's met by a host of Liberty Patriots led by number 34. I'm going to say number 34, Anthony Villanueva, is the man on that tackle there to lead that tackle.
You're going to call that name a lot tonight.
That is a run, though, for 2 yards by 2. 2nd and goal from the 2. And another run. And that is Milton again, and he is stopped.
Number 5, Sam Stewart Jr. There to greet number 2, Kendall Milton.
Milton is actually
Number
held.
7, Connor Matsky there to help.
They're going to give him a yard on that one. So he's at the 1, 3rd and goal. So we'll see if Buchanan.
5, Jalen Cropper.
So Stevenson out at quarterback now. Cropper in with Milton. 5 receivers. I think they have a tight end in there now too. Man in motion. And Cropper's going to keep it and get in for the end zone.
Number 5,
right up the middle.
Jalen Cropper with the quarterback keeper, and he'll take it in for a 2-yard Buchanan touchdown.
Years ago, would have not been conceivable. You'd have 5 guys wide open at on the 1. But what does it do for you as a defensive coordinator when you have that kind of play?
Well, for one, it spreads you out.
Right.
So now you get less guys in the box. You know, you could have, they've got 5 wide. You might go, if you go man, you're going to have 6 in the box. If you go some kind of zone, you're going to have even less than that.
Right.
So, and they were in a wildcat formation again with the receiver.
It was Cropper
Cropper.
ran the touchdown.
Yeah.
In.
So Cropper's also the one that threw the long
Wow.
pass. And so their best offensive has been from the quarterback's position, whether it's Cropper or Stevenson.
So Liberty just called a timeout here. Their 2nd timeout of the game. At what point do you call a timeout on an extra point? Is it just because you're just not ready to go? You don't
Well, if you notice the formation they came out in.
Yeah.
they
No,
were-
I missed it, actually.
Okay. They had 3 linemen here, and then everybody else spread out.
Okay.
And most of the time you're going to see those guys shift back in and kick the PAT. They didn't that time. So Liberty basically called a timeout. Now you might see Buchanan come in and kick it now.
All right.
So basically, I made you waste a timeout.
Yep. Okay, I don't know what happened here, but suddenly there's like 750 Liberty High cheerleaders. Full house here at Liberty. Good crowd tonight. And they show that same formation. Stevenson now, and they throw it to 22. There's a direct snap to 22, right?
Yeah.
And that's a two-point conversion.
So
they overloaded.
By number 22, Levi Williams. 10:42
Crazy play
remaining in the
there.
first half. It's
Another guy without
Buchanan 8, Liberty 3.
So on that drive, Buchanan takes an 8-3 lead, almost a 6-minute drive. They converted 3 third-down conversions, including the score, and then they just ran in some kind of exotic 2-point conversion. Tell me what I saw there, Rick Van Horn.
Well, it was a very ugly drive. It wasn't as calculated as Liberty's 17-play drive was. As you saw, we talked about that. A couple quarterback scrambles. They had a long pass from a receiver that got behind somehow the receiver. Shame on Liberty, though, because they came out and showed that formation. Liberty called timeout. They came back into that formation and ran the play.
Right.
Okay. So you had a timeout to defend it, and then nothing happened.
So Liberty now facing an 8-3 deficit here at home against Buchanan. We talked about this in the opening. The series between these two teams has been heavily lopsided in Liberty's favor. The kick, and that's going to be deep, but Henderson's going to be there at the 6-yard line, and he's going to return it. Got a little bit of room, and he is going to be stopped right across the 21-yard line.
From his 6 advances the ball.
Buchanan, before last year, had only beaten Liberty once, and that was in 2010. A 23-17 win at Buchanan in overtime. Liberty won last year's game 34-28.
Some scoring updates.
13-play drive, as we mentioned, for 8-3 lead here, 10:35 to go. Liberty will take over at the 21-yard line.
Stockdale 14, Independence 0, and at Miramonte, Arvin 20, Miramonte 0.
So Liberty now lines up, and they're going to put be a delay, maybe even a timeout. Yep, Nixon's walking onto the field.
Looked like it was called by Buchanan.
Yeah.
Timeout. Buchanan High School. That's their first timeout of the half.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my.
All right, thanks to the Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. You had a chance to run into Mike George over there at the Kern Schools Federal Credit Union last night at an event for Cal State Bakersfield. Good to see him as well. He was talking about the greatness that is Achieve magazine and that they can't keep it in stock at the credit union. All right, brings up 1st and 10 now from the 21-yard line. Buchanan coming out of a timeout here. 10:35 to go in the first quarter. I'm Louis Amistoy, joined by Rick Van Horn. Henderson in motion. Keeper, or give it to Henderson. He's going to turn around the side there. There's definitely a face mask.
Ramon Henderson on the reverse.
I thought I saw a face
Number
mask.
53, Stephen
You see a hold maybe?
Probably anytime it's thrown out there, it's probably a hold on a receiver against Liberty, so it's coming back.
Personal foul.
Face
on
mask.
the defense.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
15-yard.
So as Henderson was making that sweep around that left side there, you saw his head just kind of jerk very quickly, and someone got his face mask. So that's going to be good for Liberty. It's going to be a first down.
Face mask and penalty assessed to Buchanan will advance the ball.
All the way up to the
for Liberty onto the
41-yard line.
41-yard line. First down and 10.
A 20-yard penalty. First and 10 now. Clock running at 10:16. Gonzalez. Swing pass to Jounty. Jounty got some running room up to about the 49-yard line.
Catches made
That's
by
one of
number
those plays
23,
where you're not sure, like,
Jounty.
statistically, is that a run or a pass? I'm going to say it's a pass. I think he was out in front of him enough.
Michael Mertens and
that's a
number 20,
pass,
McCabe
and you're throwing it
Mason.
to your second running back there, so it becomes
Nice
basically a
block made by
run.
number 25, Nate
But
Mariscal.
They got 8 yards on that play, which is more than you can ask for.
Right. 8-yard gain, as you mentioned, Rick. Second and 3, or second and 2. Second and a long 2. 2 running backs in the middle there, and they're going to give that to number 34.
Anthony Villanueva.
Anthony Villanueva.
To midfield. Gain of a yard.
Gains a yard. A lot of guys playing both ways. Rick, what's your thought on that?
This is a high school football. You know, you got to put your, especially in games like this, you got to put your best players out on the field. Both teams have big squads. They're 60 plus. So, you know, what do? The thing about Buchanan is they're very young.
Movement
Stevenson's a sophomore. Milton's a junior.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense.
Ball
5-yard
start, going to
penalty.
push them back.
Still third down.
So 3rd and 1 becomes 3rd and 6. Back to the
5-yard
45-yard
penalty
line.
against Liberty. Moves the ball
They're
back
showing
to
like a triple
Patriot 45.
formation back
Third
there
down and 6.
of running backs. First formation. That's the first formation I've seen of that tonight. Now they're going to spread out everybody. Stewart will be right next to the quarterback in that, Gonzalez. And another false start. Got to be on that left side. Just
Penalty marker down. The blow play dead.
remember Daniel Viveros
Ball start
on that left
on the
side.
offense. 5-yard penalty.
Adds another dimension
Remains
to
third down.
Liberty's team. He's the state champion in the shot put.
He's a beast out there, I tell you.
So suddenly what was 3rd and short now becomes 3rd and 11 from the 40. So Liberty was
5-yard penalty.
aided by a penalty and has been hurt by 2 of their own. So 3rd and 10. Back to the almost original line of scrimmage here with 8:27 to go. Gonzalez drops back looking for a man, scrambles up into the pocket, fumble, and I think that
Fumble on the play.
Liberty got it back. Yep, number 55
Recovered
by
by number
Bryson
55,
Lindsay.
Bryson Lindsay.
So that's going to be a 4th
Knocking
down.
it loose was number 40.
So the pocket just
Jack
collapsed
Jackson.
on Gonzalez,
4th down.
and he got the ball stripped right out. Didn't tuck it yet, but that's a danger on the quarterback run.
Back in front
It is, and that's not a good sign because Buchanan only rushed 4 guys on that. They have a 3-man front. They sent to backer, 4 guys, and they couldn't hold on.
So Liberty forced the punt, and almost there was a man there. And they will let this one bounce, and it'll go right to the 25-yard line when it rolls out of bounds at the
And
26.
Denise's punt rolls out of bounds.
You're watching Liberty and Buchanan here on the Kern High Network. I'm Louis Amestoy, joined by
26-yard
the
line
legendary
Bears,
Rick
a
Van Horn.
33-yard punt
Rick, it's
for
always
Denise.
good. Our last game we worked together, we nearly died of
We did.
sunstroke.
A couple years ago
Years
in
ago. Yeah,
Mission
Mission
Viejo, I believe.
where it was unbelievably humid and hot. All right, 1st and 10 now with the 7:39 mark to go. From the 26-yard line of Buchanan. Lindsay's going to hand it off to Milton, and Milton's going to break a tackle, and he pulled down just across the 30-yard line up to the 34, just short of the first down.
Yardage out to the 34-yard line.
8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. So that was probably, from the running back perspective, the nicest run of the night for Buchanan.
It was. And that was the first time we've seen kind of the real Buchanan that they've done the last 3 games.
Yep. Handoff this time, and that's going to go nowhere.
And then we see the Liberty defensive line do what they've done the last 2 games and stuff people.
It's really kind of an adventure with Liberty's, with the roster for these guys. 3rd and 3 from the 33. Loss of a yard. Handoff again to number 22. And
Number
a first
22,
down.
Levi Willems.
There's the first run by Willems.
There's the first run. Yeah, he's their leading rusher. And he's kind of highly touted as a junior coming into this game, but that's the first carry we've seen him in the second quarter. 6 minutes into the second quarter.
Yep. And he's right back out of there. So now we go back to number 5, Cropper, who scored the touchdown run. Another 3rd down conversion for Buchanan. That's their 4th. And a fumble. And I think it goes back to Buchanan. Brock Jones
is back to the 34, so a 6-yard loss. 2nd down and 16.
This roster for Buchanan, by the way, is just fiction. I'll try not to complain too much, Rick. I apologize for that. But Cropper now still in the backfield as the quarterback. Man in motion. That's Willems in motion. And Cropper's going to be hit and stuffed by Liberty.
Cropper with the keeper, stopped by number 54, Sloan Simpson, and number 3, Dylan Tooker. And a host of Patriot defenders.
And suddenly, Buchanan's going the other way now. It's 3rd and 16.
And Buchanan hasn't shown that short passing game and intermediate passing game that they need to play with the big boys. Liberty, Bakersfield, Central.
I tell you, I saw Bakersfield against Tehachapi. It was a complete mismatch. And in motion. And Stevenson now with a swing pass out to 22. That's Willems. And he's really not going to go anywhere. That's almost basically a run for Willems. And he's going to get out to the 37-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th and long for the Buchanan. The mighty Buchanan Bears. I'm kind of surprised they don't really actually have a bear on campus there. They got everything else.
At Buchanan?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a college campus, I tell you.
Yeah, it does. And there's a flag down back at the 30-yard line. I think it's going to be a offsides or something, procedure possibly against Buchanan. Ball was fielded by number 9. That's Kellen Riley. And the white hat and his crew were talking about it. And they are going to mark this off. It looks like, here's the call.
Illegal motion
Yep.
on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Re-kicking on 4th down. So I tell you what, things have sort of settled down here for these two teams. 3:59 to go. Fourth and 18 now for Buchanan. men back for Liberty. And punt is off and away. High kick. And Liberty fair catches it. Oh my goodness. Number 9, Kellen Riley, was going to catch it, and it hit him, and then he had to go get it, and basically cost him about 15 yards. So
he kind of muffed both punts there. But Liberty got the break there and got the ball back.
So 3:49 to go here. Basically, both teams going to end up with 2 possessions in this first half. First and 10.
Recovered by Blue. First down.
Well, I was telling Julian, our filmer, that this may be the fastest game we've had this year.
Yeah. All right, here goes. First and 10 from the 33. Gonzalez, and going to be a delay or a false start against Liberty. So Liberty's had 3 false starts, a fumble, and a punt in its last
False start
4 plays.
on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So Liberty and Buchanan, and what was a clean first quarter, have been nothing but penalties and fumbles.
And this is, to this point right now, I don't know how you think. I think Liberty is the better team.
I would say so right now, yes. Defensively, they did a great job. They're going to have to make some adjustments on those keepers, on those broken plays with the quarterback. Gonzalez here. Got Henderson down low. It's going to go to Stewart, though. Stewart's got some room. Breaks up down at the 30. Crosses to the 35. Breaks a tackle and is pulled down at the 42-yard line. So Stewart's best run of the night. And let me get excited for a minute there. So Sam Stewart Jr., 5'11", 215 pounds. Senior running back.
Probably would have been better off going out of bounds and stopping the clock there.
Still not a first down. He's got 2 yards to go. 13-yard pickup. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 3 minutes to go. Clock still running. Stewart. Nope. Sorry, Villanueva that one time stopped right at the 40. Both teams have done a good job on those. Like after a, sort of a long run, they do a good job of stopping the next run. So they have learned a little bit.
Didn't look like Liberty blocked a guy there. They had 2 guys in the backfield that time just waiting for Stewart.
So that brings up a 3rd and 3 from the 40. 8-3.
This is the time you've got to think about Jonte and Henderson.
Yep.
Jonte is a kind of a hybrid guy, a 3rd down back you'd call him in the NFL.
Henderson up top. They're going to shift over Jonte and number 7, Connor Matzke. Jonte in the slot. Hand off to Villanueva. Keeper no from Gonzalez. He's going to go up to the 41-yard line, and it's going to bring up fourth and short. I don't think I like that call. So 4th and 2 from the 41-yard line, and Liberty's going to punt it away. So there'll be a minute and some change to the go here as we approach halftime. 8-3. This game has moved right along. Punt, deep, and that's going to take a Liberty bounce and go all the way down to the 16-yard line, call it the 14. So a nice punt there. Let's take a quick break. How's that sound? We'll take a quick break and hear a message from our friends at the Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. You're watching.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is...
All right, we're back here, live action. Stevenson throwing wide to his right and overshoots the The receiver on that, number 7. Brock Jones is the receiver on that one. Bakersfield out to a 13-0 lead over Ridgeview. That's kind of a tell-all game for the Southwest Yosemite League, since Ridgeview would be a common opponent for both Liberty and Bakersfield.
Yeah, I think Bakersfield's up now 14-0, made the conversion, so I think they'll handle Ridgeview tonight.
And Stevenson tried, that's a run, that's a fumble, that's going to go to Liberty, and Liberty's going to have the ball inside the 5-yard line. So that was a backwards pass to number 2, Kendall Milton. Milton tried to catch it with his left hand, got immediately hit. Actually, didn't even get hit. He dropped it.
He dropped it, yeah, it was a bad pass.
So 111, and they're going to be at the 3-yard line, 1st and goal for Liberty. So a huge fumble.
Huge break for Liberty.
Yep. Inside the 5 at the 3. 1:11 to go here in the second quarter. 8-3. Liberty on the turnover. Gonzalez hands it off to Stewart, and Stewart is going to break a tackle, but not get much. Might actually lose a yard, and they're going to put him back at the 4. So a tremendous defensive effort there. As you were talking about in the pregame, Rick, about the defensive effort of Buchanan. 2nd and goal now from the 4-yard line. Loss of a yard. Gonzalez, Stewart there as well. Going to give it a quick throw. Touchdown, Liberty. So he gave a handoff, fake handoff to Stewart, and then a quick pass right to Henderson. Tell me about that play.
Well, just a little what they call run pass option, RPO. Faked it to Stewart. Henderson had inside leverage on their DB, and it's a nice, easy throw. Liberty will take that, and for all the fans out here, it looks good, but that first play before that, that run to Stewart, looked like a sieve for that offensive line. Yep. So they're going to have make some adjustments at halftime, because that's unlike the Liberty line.
And the kick for the extra point is good from Blevins, and we have a 10-8 game. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more here.
Touchdown run by number.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you.
All right, welcome back to Liberty High School. The Patriots have taken advantage, and they now lead 10-8 here with 39 seconds to go in the first half. And the kick by Blevins is going to be picked up by number 15. Vinny Ortiz. And Ortiz has got some running room on the right side. Cuts across to the 30. And Ortiz is going to be
forced out of bounds.
There's a penalty flag.
Yeah, we're going to have a clip against Buchanan. That was pretty deliberate there.
During the return, block in the back by the receiving team.
So that's going to nullify that run by Ortiz. So 28 seconds to go.
Block in the back by the receiving
And again,
team.
if you're just joining
Half the
us,
distance to go. First down.
Liberty was able to capitalize on a fumble, backward pass from Buchanan's quarterback, DJ Stevenson, to Kendall Milton. Milton couldn't hold on to it. A little bit high, and tried to make a one-handed catch and didn't go. And it's one of those ones where sometimes it kind of, everyone's sort of stumped by that kind of play, but it's a run, and Liberty pounced on it, recovered the ball at the 3-yard line. Next play, 2 plays later, they're going to go to halftime. They're going to let it go out. All right, halftime coming up here. We've got, counting it down, 10, 9, 8. Rick, give me your first half thoughts here early on.
Well, I thought Liberty was going to come out and pretty much put an old-fashioned butt whipping on them with that 17-play drive there, but Buchanan came back and was scrappy.
Yep.
Didn't look good. Made some plays. Liberty got a big break going up 10-8 at half. So I think at halftime what Liberty has to do is play tough on the run and make this kid Stevenson throw the ball, because I don't think he's a polished passer.
No.
And make them beat you with him throwing the ball, which I don't think they can do.
Because if you look at the first drive where they scored their points, they converted on 3rd down 3 times, including for the score, and it was the 2 sort of broken plays that he was able to get out on, Stevenson was able to get out on, and keep those drives alive for Buchanan. So you're going into the locker room. What do you tell your defense?
I'm telling them we've got to stop this run, and we're doing a pretty good job right now. But they have let the quarterback get loose a couple times, which has kind of been their Achilles heel. We've got to make this kid Stevenson, this young sophomore, beat us with his arm, because I don't think he can.
Right, absolutely. And I think that's going to be the thing here too, is that, like you say, keep him contained. Don't let him give up any yards to these guys. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
10-8 though is our score here at halftime. We're looking at the live look at our. I don't know. We got about 800 cheerleaders here from Liberty.
And it doesn't look like one of them is in high school.
Yeah, it's crazy. 14-0, by the way, Bakersfield and Ridgeview. Over at Ridgeview.
All right, let's hear it for those future Liberty cheerleaders.
By the way, it's cooled down to a more manageable 88
if you're
degrees.
Interested
wow.
in having your child sign up,
I'll
there
go
will
back
be
and look at a couple other
clinic
scores from around the area if I
during
can find them.
basketball season. If you would like more information, contact Andy Watson at Liberty High School, and she will give you all the details. Once again, let's give it up for those future Liberty cheerleaders.
Hard to believe it's already week 4 of the high school football season. It just started.
Started early this year, so think about it. You're not going to have anything to do in December.
I know. It's crazy. Shafter leading Foothill 43-0 in the second quarter. Stockdale up 21-14. And look at that. I can feel him hitting me every once in a while. Rick Van Horn is debugging me at this moment. Santa Maria with a 20-12 lead over Golden Valley with 1:52 to go in the second quarter.
And Destiny Murdoch.
BCHS with a 17-7 lead over who they're playing tonight. Tehachapi with the lead. A lot of these guys, they tweet. Oh, Highland. Highland's got a lead over Tehachapi tonight, 30-6.
Wow.
That's a big win. That's a big lead there for Tehachapi or Highland. That's on the road too. North and Wasco 15-13, second quarter, 4:07 to go there.
That's a good game.
Arvin has a 27-7 lead over Miramonte at 10:56 to go in the second quarter, according to Josh Bedingfield. Jorge Rosales with a 55-yard touchdown catch from Angel Garza of Arvin. Centennial leading Rigetti 14-7 with 2:56 left to go in the first half. Another one of those matchups where the coastal teams coming over to play, or vice versa, the teams over here, since they're now in the central section for the first time. Very impressive night. Coalinga with a 14-7 lead over Taft. What do they call it? The Oil Bowl. Shafter, as we mentioned before, with a big lead over Foothill. So those are some of the games that we've had going on tonight. BCHS, by the way, is playing St. Joe's of Santa Maria, which had the late win last week against Garces. So the Liberty Band getting ready to perform here. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more here on the Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock and no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had a chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
A lot of more hands-on activity, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
It's not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like doors, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, It's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses having a pool of resources or kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide these up. Watch fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards. The CNC equipment, computers. I could actually build cabinets out of this shop. It's state of the art. It really is.
I am constantly looking for students that have been through these programs. It's always nice to have a person that has some experience. It's a lot easier to train. I think we're fortunate in Bakersfield that the Kern High School District has invested in a program like this. I would encourage other businesses to partner up with the Kern High School District like I've done here, because this really shows you what can be done if business comes together with the Kern High School District.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story, and then just sort of directing people in my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Pollard, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
I was shearing my lamb for fair. I have 2 lambs.
This lamb is stubborn.
Taking care of animals is you feed them twice a day, make sure they have water, walk them, make sure they're ready for fair.
Vet science is the first year before you can actually go into animal science, and it's a lot of like hands-on with the different animals, and you get to learn different things such as giving shots, castrating, all that fun stuff. For me, wanting to be a vet when I'm older, it helped prepares me. All the stuff that I'm learning in ag is definitely going to help me.
I'm in ag communications. Anything that you see on the Facebook page is what we do, and pictures, and we do all the posters that are around campus, anything that just promotes ag.
Our students are all part of the FFA organization, and through that we have a chapter officer team. We do monthly chapter meetings because we're trying to get them involved outside of class, so they can find something that they're interested in, and they need something that's going to hook them so that they're ready for life after high school.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, the animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always
Welcome back to Liberty High School. I'm Louis Amistoy, joined by Rick Van Horn, where Liberty leads 10-8 over visiting Buchanan out of Clovis. We talked about how this was a defensive, potentially defensive struggle, and it certainly has played out that way with a 10-8 lead. Get this. Liberty has 88 yards of total offense. Buchanan has 74 yards of total offense.
Well, we called it. It's going to be a defensive battle. 2 great defenses coming in. We knew that was Buchanan's strength coming in. Yeah. Now, whether they could get that running game going against a strong defensive line by Liberty was the question mark, and we see it. They haven't. They've had a couple broken plays that have kept them in that drive, the one scoring drive they had to get the 8 points. So I like where Liberty's at. They come out, tighten up on the run a little bit, make Buchanan throw the ball. They're going to be all right.
Buchanan, since that opening drive, has really not done much offensively at all. In that first drive, there was about a 10-play drive. They have only had about 6 effective plays since then over the last quarter and a half. It's been unbelievable to see how things have slowed down in this game all of a sudden. But in that first drive, they got 2 key third-down conversions on scrambles from the quarterback, and then they got a key pass interference call that moved the ball within scoring position. and they converted on third down on the touchdown that put them up early 8-3.
Yeah, and those were probably plays you're not going to see the second half against Liberty, and we knew it was going to be a tight ball game. These are two of the best teams in the Valley. That there's a good chance they may see each other later on this year in the playoffs.
Championship too.
This could be.
Could be for a very, Buchanan was there a year ago. Liberty's been there before, and they're getting ready to come back out onto the field here. So we're going to kind of go back to them for a second as we get the slow pan of things as we get ready for our second half action. Buchanan's back on the field. Liberty getting ready to come back here. We talked about some of the scores around the central section. Looks like BHS in control over Ridgeview 21-0. Now Liberty shut these guys out, Ridgeview out earlier in the year, a couple weeks ago, and BHS doing the same thing, although it looks like Ridgeview's now driving.
They are, and in this game here, BHS has fumbled the ball 5 times and lost 3 of them so far in the first half.
It's amazing you have a 21-0 lead with that.
And I think, despite that, BHS will still handle them quite
defensively, yes, they are.
Quite easy.
Penalty on that play. Going back to how we got things to a 10-8 game here, Liberty opened up with a staggering 17-play drive that kind of stumbled, got down to about the 20-yard line, and then it just kind of sort of petered out. And then Blevins came in and somehow got a 35-yard field goal through the uprights, kind of wandered around for a second, and then it went through. It was quite fun to watch. And that consumed almost 7 minutes of the clock. It got down to the 15-yard line before they couldn't convert that one. And then basically Buchanan answered back with their own drive and their own touchdown. They scored on a 2-point conversion that was sort of a direct snap to a guy in the far left of the field. Things then really sort of quieted down there till toward the end here when basically Buchanan went for a backwards pass. It hit the running back Milton in the hands. He dropped it, and Liberty recovered the fumble at the Buchanan 3-yard line. 2 plays later, touchdown pass between Gonzalez, Hector Gonzalez, the quarterback, and Henderson of Liberty down there for a 4-yard touchdown catch. So that's your scoring summary here.
You know, every turnover in this game, and a game with this magnitude, is going to amplify any mistake.
Right.
Whether it's penalties, whether it's turnovers. We saw that turnover lead to a touchdown.
Yep, right.
And so you're not going to see a lot of them, but the ones that you do see are going to be magnified.
Well, 10-8 here, and Buchanan will get the ball back here. He won the toss and elected to defer. Are you a deferral coach? Do you defer to the second half, or do you like to have the ball first?
Well, it depends on what kind of message you're trying to send out with your kids. You know, if you've been on them all week, and this is what we're going to do, we're going to change things. We're going to take the ball, and then we're going to go.
Right.
Of course, the safe thing is always to defer, get the ball at second half. What you don't ever want to do is give a team a 2-for-1. So if they score right before half, and then they get the ball to open up the second half and they score, that's a 2-for-1, what I call, and that's always will put a dagger in your heart.
First half action has definitely been, the storyline has been about minimizing mistakes and ball control. In an era when you see teams run 50, 60, 70 plays a game, these two guys might run 45 tonight at each. So.
Yeah, they're not running a fast-paced offense, very deliberate, even though they may not go. Liberty huddle up quite a bit. But what I do need to see is something. I need to see something out of Hector Gonzalez, a little bit more out of him.
Right. He's done enough so far, but nothing. There's been nothing really offensively special that Liberty's done so far.
12 minutes, please.
Ready to run the clock here. The other storyline tonight has been the incredible amount of bugs that have landed on my headset. It's fabulous. I'd like to thank Stan Green of the Kern High Network for
the bugs.
For the bugs. And the weird skunk smell coming from behind the stadium. All right, here we go. Blevins with a kickoff from the 40 and short right down to the 18-yard line. One of the mysterious Buchanan numbers, number 7, that is Brock Jones.
He's not on my roster.
Like we said, this roster for these guys is mysterious at best, fiction at worst. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Buchanan Bears now at 11:55. The drive will begin at their own 24-yard line. Stevenson there, the quarterback, sophomore quarterback. He's got Milton there. He's going to hand off to Milton. Milton's going to be immediately met and crunched by 3 defenders from Liberty, led by Villanueva. You said we'd call his name all night long. We have.
To Kendall Milton, who's immediately met by number 5.
Well, if we're thinking of a player of the game at the end, nobody's really stood out.
Yeah.
You know, somebody on defense may win this thing.
It's a 4-yard loss. 2nd and 14 now from the 20. We talked about how Buchanan came into the game averaging right around a little over 280 yards a game rushing. Neither team is that. There's another broken play, and Stevenson's going to get crunched, and there's going to be a flag down in the backfield.
DJ Stevenson
with a nice run.
By number 5.
Looks like a hold against Buchanan.
57, Ben Ollinger.
Tackle credit to Ben Ollinger, senior defensive end, 6'3", 205. But a holding call. Back up Buchanan. How do you take that call, or do you decline it? You're going to take it.
Well, you know, I would take that. I'm gonna make this kid throw the ball. As you see, we talked about that. The best plays of the quarterback scramble. So I want to see this kid throw the ball.
Brings up 2nd, and it's going to be spotted right at the 10-yard line. So 2nd and 24. 10:48 to go on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. And Stevenson now out of the shotgun, throws, and a nice pass right up the middle, and there it is, Rick.
Well,
throw it to him.
Made me eat my words with that cover 3 out there against 5 wide. I don't know.
And Vinny Ortiz there with a nice catch for a 1st down, and a nice pickup of 28 yards.
That's kind of a textbook read for that play there.
28-yard gain from Stevenson to Ortiz, and now he's going to hand off to Cropper. Cropper's going to make it up to about the 40-yard line, and he's still running. He's still driving, and he cuts across to the 40, to the 43-yard line. I thought that play was dead. So a nice run there by Cropper. And that's going to be spotted at the 43-yard line, the toughest 5-yard pickup of the night. 2nd and 5. Actually, it's longer than that. I'll put it out basically the 44. 2nd and, what was it, 2nd and 3. I guess the 1st down marker was at the 36, so my bad there. So that was a 7-yard gain. Run again. This is number 6. Fumble.
No.
And Liberty's got it, I think.
Picked up by the Patriots.
And Liberty has got the ball back.
Number 5.
We talked about turnovers being magnified in a big game like this.
Patriots will take over just inside their territory.
And what was headed for a 1st down run now goes back to Liberty, who's going to take the ball over at the Buchanan 46-yard line. Basically a 3-yard gain on that.
Well, this is the last 2 series has ended in turnovers for Buchanan.
The fumble was by number 6, it says on the roster, Tanner Blunt. Hand off to Stewart. Stewart's trying to find some running room. He's got no blockers, and he is going to be met and stopped. A nice tackle by number 24. C.J. Jones coming in there on the tackle. Stewart did not have any help out there. There was like 6 guys right there.
Stewart hasn't had much help all night. There's been white shirts in the Liberty backfield all night.
No gain on the play, in fact.
And that's not a good sign come October 26th.
That's Stewart's 8th carry of the game. He only has 25 yards.
October 26th when the Drillers and Patriots meet.
And a little swing pass to Stewart. Stewart's got a little bit of room, but there's 4 guys there. He breaks a tackle. He gets up through the 30. He's going to go. Oh! And he's tripped up right across the 25-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 23. I thought he had room there to go all the way. But what a play. There were 4 guys in front of him ready to make the tackle, and somehow he scored it through that to make the first down.
He's a big kid.
He's hard to bring down.
He's a big kid. He's hard to bring down. And
so a 22-yard pickup.
If you're not going to help him, he'll do it by himself.
Gonzalez there as the quarterback. Hand off to Villanueva. Villanueva looks for some room. He's going to push across. And a nice run by Villanueva as he crosses the 20 and lands down at the 15-yard line.
This is a do-or-die series for Buchanan. If the Patriots go down and score, it's going to be a long night for the Bears.
So it's second down. I have it 2nd and 1, 2nd and a long one, right at the outside the 15-yard line. Gonzalez has got Stewart to his right, Villanueva to his left. Hand off to Stewart. Stewart's going to look around the left side. He's got some room, makes a cutback, and he brings it down almost to the first down marker. And I think it's going to be a first down. Yep, they're going to call it right about the 13-yard line. So a key 2-yard run, and sometimes those are the ones that matter.
First down.
And the Patriots need 7. They don't need 3 here. They need a touchdown.
They need a score. So 1st and 10 now from the 13-yard line, 7:28 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Liberty looking to add to its 10-8 lead over Buchanan. We mentioned this before, Buchanan has never won here in Bakersfield at Liberty. Gonzalez scrambles out, looks for a guy. He's got some time, throws, and nobody there.
Pass incomplete, intended for number 7.
Actually, a pretty smart play there by Gonzalez. First down, don't do anything heroic.
Right.
Live to play another down.
Really didn't have anybody open. He had pretty good protection on that. Gonzalez come back in. Villanueva will come out for Liberty. Ten, 8, 7:05. Gonzalez hands up to Stewart right up the middle, and Stewart's going to push across to right about to the 6-yard line. So Stewart on that 2nd and 10. It's his 3rd carry of the drive. Touched the ball 4 times on this drive, and they put it right. They're actually going to mark it at the 7-yard line. 6-yard gain.
3rd and 4 for the Patriots.
Not a bad thought by the Patriots is to give him a dose of Sammy Stewart down here.
Yeah. Oh, I always think it's interesting, you know, from a psychological perspective, when you have a 5'11", 215-pound senior as your running back, you know, that's a different level of kid for the most part. That's a man out there, you know, with some 16 and 17-year-olds. I mean, what is it like to have those kind of kids on your team?
Well, yeah, they're physically more mature, and have probably been that way. He's been bigger and stronger than everybody since Golden Empire days, because we've heard about him, we've seen him coming up.
Yep.
You know, it kind of puts a sense of fear into a little 160-pound DB that
Right.
goes,
I got to pull him down.
that guy outweighs me by 40 pounds, and he could run a little bit. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Liberty calls the timeout here, and we're staying with this game here.
Up 21-0 at the half.
Talking about BHS with their 21-0 lead over Ridgeview. It's hard for me to measure BHS with the Tehachapi game, but because they look so much faster than Tehachapi. I mean, it wasn't even close. There was times when they'd break loose and Tehachapi would be like, all right, we're done here. Go ahead and score. But we'll see what happens.
And just before the half, Stockdale is leading.
And their depth was impressive as well. All right, here we go. 3rd and 4 from the 8. Pass, and pass interference is going to keep this drive alive. It was a slant pass from Gonzalez to number 2, Damian Harless, and Harless was definitely interfered with. So that's going to put the ball probably half the distance, Rick. Flag on the play.
Defensive pass interference.
Interesting graphic here.
The goal. Remains 3rd down.
After this is the goal, 3rd down.
Pass interference. Buchanan.
good thing about for Liberty is they can get a first down on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, they can.
You might see a big
push.
dose of Sammy Stewart here again.
It's 3rd and 2. Actually, it's inside the 4, so it's 3rd and 1 from the 4-yard line. And we'll see what they do here. They got Villanueva and Stewart. They got a triple backfield, and they're going to push Gonzalez through. I don't think he's going to get the first down.
Wow, it's going to be close.
They're going to mark him at the 3 on the forward progress.
I don't think he got it.
77.
They're going to have to measure this one. Nope, they're just going to say 4th down.
Now this is why you're that's why you're paid the big bucks
How did
here.
not measure that? Wow. I guess they see it better than I do. I'd like to see that measured, but whatever. Going to try a field goal here from the 10-yard line, so it'll be a 20-yard kick from Blevins. Up and through, and that is the lead now, 13-8 here with 5:34. All right, we'll take a quick break, right? Let's do it. 5:34, 13-8, Liberty leads.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you...
All right, welcome back here. Liberty's taking a 13-8 lead on a 20-yard field goal from Blevins. And it kicks off a short one again, right at the 19-yard line to Brock Jones. And Jones makes his way up and still on his feet right around the 40-yard line of Buchanan. So 5:24 to go here in the third quarter. Liberty with a 5-point lead. And they have capitalized on 2 turnovers. A pair of fumbles to take this 13-8 lead.
Yeah, a little 9-iron chip shot by the kicker, Blevins, puts the ball at the 40. So I don't know what who's back there really scaring Liberty on the kickoff returns. But I might kick it deep next time.
First and 10 from the 40. Stevenson, the quarterback. To his right is Willems, going to throw it out to Cropper. Cropper's going to pick it up, and that is a gain of about 4 yards. Call it 5.
Number 45, Dylan Holmes.
2nd and 5 from the 45.
One of Buchanan's better plays in these last 4 series.
Yep. Stevenson now just on 2 men down low, going to hand to Willems. Willems going to spin and find some running room, and he's stopped right there by number 45.
Number 45, Holmes makes the stop.
And number 22 with the run there gets up to about 4 yards, so 3rd and 1 from the 49. Stevenson in the backfield, the quarterback. He's been dangerous when he's been flushed out of the pocket. Looking to throw. Got some room, gonna take it, keeps it. And I think that was the design run the entire time.
I think it was.
And he gets the first down. One thing that Buchanan's done a good job tonight is converting on 3rd down. And they move the ball into Liberty territory at the 47-yard line. A little 4-yard gain for Stevenson. Stevenson back to pass, stays in the pocket, hurls it down the field, got a man there, and it's broken up beautifully by number 7, Connor Matsky. And again, he kind of hung it up there enough so Matsky could come over and make the play.
Yeah, put enough air on it, let Maskey run over. Maskey's a big kid. He's 6'2", 6'3". So, much like the free safety Alvarez they had last year. Big series for Liberty defense right here. They need a hold.
2nd and 10. So the home run ball and 1st down broken up. Hand off to Willems. Willems is just breaks a tackle, great run, and he is stopped by Sam Stewart. Willems hit 2 defenders, bounced off of them. Stewart tripped him up, and then Matsky came over to finish it off. So, run by number 22 brings up 3rd down, and 12 is back at the 49-yard line of Liberty. So great defensive effort there. Third down. And Stevenson looks to throw, gets man out in the flat. That's number 11, and he is stopped. That was Jonathan Castillo, tight end.
Going to bring a 4th down. Looks like Buchanan's going to punt. That was a big stop there for the Patriots.
Really good job of containing that on the outside. It's one of those plays I think you'd worry about if you're a coach. If anybody had any speed, they could turn that up and get down the sideline in a hurry. So it brings up 4th. The 7-yard gain. It was 4th and 5. Punt. Kicks it high and it's trailing on the right side there. It takes a big Liberty bounce. Wow, all the way down to the 7-yard line.
Major mistake by the Liberty returner. You got to catch that ball. They've lost 18 yards on that.
Yep.
On that punt that should have been a fair catch.
1st and 10, Liberty will take over from their own 6-yard line with 2:20 to go here. We'll stay right here.
First touching. First down, Liberty High School.
Are we taking a timeout? Is that what we're doing? No?
Looks like the official spot the ball at about the 6-yard line.
Yeah, 6-yard line. And Liberty will come back out. So Liberty's defense holds nicely, forces the punt, but then they get a big, Buchanan gets a big break and gets the ball spotted down at the 6-yard line. 36 yards on the punt. Gonzalez there, the quarterback. He's been efficient tonight. 7 of 9 in the first half. Hand off to Stewart. And Stewart is met and immediately stopped for no gain.
I think you got to give some credit to that Buchanan front line. They're doing a great job bottling up Sam Stewart. I don't think he's even got 70 yards total offense.
He's probably right at it. He had 25 in the first half.
Yeah, and most second half he had the little swing pass and gained about 20 there. So
Henderson on the near side, 3 receivers set up top. Gonzalez now looking, throwing to Henderson. Has Henderson got room? No. Almost picked off, underthrown. And number 24, C.J. Jones there on the coverage for Buchanan.
Charles Jones.
I just had a feeling with Henderson spread out there, they were going to try to go to him.
Well, that's the first time they've tried that all game, and we thought you have to test the Buchanan secondary, but going back to that play, that was a heck of a play by Henderson because that ball should have been intercepted.
Yeah, Henderson came back over the top and pulled him down. Once again, you're watching live high school football here on the Kern High Network. We're live from Liberty High School here in Bakersfield. Liberty leading 13-8 over Buchanan of Clovis. Hand off to Stewart. Stewart is immediately met again, and he gains maybe a yard on 3rd and 10.
Number 90, Chase Bibler. Number 27, Michael Mertens.
Number 5 runs up to, they're going to put it right around the 7-yard line, so a gain of 1. So 4th and 9, and Liberty is going to have to punt this one away. And Buchanan should be in good position here from a field position standpoint.
Jeez.
It's blocked, and it's right at the, well, I don't know what was going on there, but the punt was blocked, and Buchanan takes the ball over out there.
I don't know. I think he missed it.
Well,
I don't know what he was doing. He was 2 yards behind that front wall.
I don't understand why he wasn't in the end zone.
Yeah. That was
bizarre. So Liberty.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
We'll have to watch the replay here. But that presents some problems for.
I don't think he ever hit it. I don't think he ever.
He was lined up right on the goal line.
2 yards behind the front wall, the 3-man wall.
We'll get that posted for you guys on Twitter. Run, Willems. And he's going to push through, and he's going to score. Touchdown. So Buchanan capitalizes on the strange punt play and scores on a 6-yard run. By Willems here, 39 seconds to go. So if you can imagine this for a moment, that the touchdown was set up by a weird punt formation where the punter was standing on the goal line. The line of scrimmage was the 6.
Yeah.
And he kicked it right into.
I don't think he kicked it. I don't think he hit it. I think he totally missed it.
Unbelievable.
I think he was afraid he was going to kick his guy in the butt there.
So now we're going to go for a 2-point conversion, and not going to happen. So the 2-point try fails in the run.
Number 3, Dylan Tooker makes the first contact.
And it's 14-13 with 39 seconds to go here in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more here on the Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there.
Welcome back. Well, we were just looking at the replay that's going to be posted out on Facebook and Twitter for the Kern High Network, and clearly the punter was lined up about 6 yards deep, and that play collapsed. And now Buchanan has taken a 14-13 lead here in the closing seconds of the third quarter. So, Rick, you saw what happened there. Give me your thoughts after seeing that replay.
Wow, I've never the punt formation to start to play was kind of screwed up. Usually he had plenty of room to get back to his normal depth at 14 or 15, whatever they do. But he decided to come up at 6 yards. You know, there's a good chance he was going to put the punt into the back of one of his teammates.
Do you go in that formation because you're afraid that it might go out of the end zone?
Well, I don't know what the kid was thinking, number 21, Munoz, who just returned that kickoff. But that really puts Liberty in a bind.
Yep, Liberty's now trailing 14-13 here to go with 32 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Well, let me ask you, from what we've seen in 3 quarters now, are these guys going to be in the finals?
I haven't seen Central, so I'd say no.
Has this impressed you enough to say these guys, one of these guys are going to be in the finals?
I would not say that at this point, although I've been very impressed with the defensive efforts of both teams tonight. All right, 1st and 10, a little swing pass out to Villanueva. Villanueva's trying to get some running room, and he's going to be stopped at the 30-yard line for a 2-yard gain. So Gonzalez, little safety pass right out to number 34, Villanueva, who gets it up to the 30 for 2nd and 8. Yeah, it's a great question, you know.
And things don't get any easier for Buchanan because they go to De La Salle next week and then go to Central.
All right. We're getting ready for the fourth quarter here. Let's take another break here. Let's hear from our friends at the Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. We'll be right back after these messages.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online.
All right, welcome back to this game here between Liberty and Buchanan. We will show you that punt here. And here it is. You can see where the punter is lined up right behind the guys. He's only 6 yards back. And he punts it, and the thing just falls apart in a hurry. And there it is. And it gets right into Buchanan's hands. So a strange set of circumstances for Liberty, and they're going to take over now, second and 9 from the 29-yard line. Gonzalez rolls out. He's in trouble. Slows it out to Stewart. Stewart's got some running room on the right side. Breaks loose. He's going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. Thanks to Todd Bentley, our production manager tonight. I gave you a promotion, Todd, for putting that together. That is always great to see those replays. Working the camera, Julian Wilson tonight.
Hey, you're tossing your bugs onto
Am I?
Todd, yeah.
Am I? Oh, my gosh. I'm just crawling with him. I'm like Indiana Jones. You know, he had the spiders on the back of his back.
Thanks, Stan.
$11:48 to go here in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 5 from the 34-yard line. And Gonzalez flushed out again. He's in deep trouble. He's going down. And what a play. Defensive play of the night so far for Buchanan. Their first sack.
87 Mortons and 77 Ricks.
And that right there, my friend, says a lot about Buchanan. Their defense has come to play here in the second half. That is a huge loss. Look where that 4th down marker's at.
Yeah.
All the way down to the 19-yard line.
You know, we said this before. This is not the same looking offense for Liberty that it's been the last 4 or 5 years with quarterbacks like Jordan Love and Isaiah Hill, who've had that great run pass ability.
And the punt is fielded at the 47-yard line, returned up to about the 47 of Liberty. So that's a sizable thing. That's a sizable critter there, Todd. I don't know what to make of that one. So at 10:53, 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line of Liberty. You know, when Stan Green called me this morning to say, "Can you do this game?" he said nothing about having to manage critters during the conversation. Thank you, Stan Green. Stevenson, quarterback, hands off to Willems. Willems has got some running room around the right side, across the 40. He's going to go down the 20. There's a man to beat. Breaks loose, and he's knocked out of bounds right about they're going to mark it at the 5-yard line. Mark it at the 6. So a first down run on the right side, the longest run of the night for Buchanan. And Buchanan suddenly feels like things have shifted over. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
We have an official
It sure has, you know, and that being the longest run of the night at the most inopportune time.
Yep. 42 yards on the run. Really the longest play of the night. And another first down. And I tell you what, Liberty has got to get a stop here. Got to hold them.
Oh, they do. They do. You know, this is definitely not the same team we saw 2 weeks ago play a very talented, fast Ridgeview team.
Right.
Where they manhandled 38-0.
Right. That score shocked me.
You know, and it's tough. Sometimes you play Mission Viejo, Ridgeview, a tough schedule, and it takes something out of you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You know, you can make the argument too that Buchanan could very well be facing that next week when they go to play De La Salle.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a tough one. You know, I mean,
and they've had a little lesser road to this point, playing at Bullard and some of those city schools, Paso, who are down this year. You know, Bullard's. I don't know if I think they're 1-2, 1-3.
Yeah, they played so far. They played a 2-6 schedule.
Yeah.
That's going to change in a hurry with tonight, next week, and the week after.
De La Salle and Central, two best teams.
Yeah.
Probably in
what a gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing maybe the 2 best teams in Northern California.
Yeah.
And the way they're showing tonight, it ain't gonna be pretty.
Stan Green told me that Central's loaded in every sport this year, and I saw the volleyball team dispatch Centennial in 3 on Wednesday night. And I tell you what, I think he's right. All right, 1st and goal from the 6. Willems in the backfield. Stevenson. 42-yard play, set it up. That's coming back. And they're not 1, but 2 penalties there. That touchdown will be nullified, and they'll push them back 5 yards.
Do have to give Buchanan credit. They do look like they've got a little more bounce in their step the second half in this fourth quarter right now.
They look like they have a good second win. I don't know that they're platooning as
We
much.
have 2 fouls on the offense. Illegal formation. Hold.
Which one do you take?
Hold, 10-yard penalty.
Hold. Take the hold.
Remains first down.
Yeah, you got to get him as far back as you can here, because I don't know. We don't know much about the field goal kicker for Buchanan.
So first and goal will go back to the about 12-yard line. So it was right around the 2 when they got that call.
Penalties, first and goal for the Bears from the 12.
I like the look of Buchanan's offensive line, too, to tell you the truth. All right. First and goal from the 12. Stevenson has pretty much remained a quarterback for this half. What a tackle. What a tackle there, Rick Van Horn by number 45. That is Dylan Holmes. Came in there and stopped Willems.
Yeah, big stop there.
3-yard loss, back to the 15.
In this situation, at this time of the game, I might get big 65 back in the game. Daniel Valveros.
Yep.
You know, I don't see him on the field, but he's a kid that, I don't know.
All right, second down and 15. Stevenson looks to run. And Villanueva is going to pull him down right around the 11-yard line.
Down by number 34, Anthony Villanueva.
I think that's one of the things about quarterbacks is as you watch them mature, the younger guys I think are sometimes more apt to run when they don't see things develop in a hurry.
Yeah.
And that was definitely the case there. I think if he just would have given it one more second, he probably would have been okay.
Like you said, young kid that, you know, you'll be hearing about him when he's a senior.
Picked up 4 yards, 3rd and 11. 3rd and goal, I could say. Willems is going to run, going to break through. He's in! Touchdown! And a great cutback run right up the middle. And great vision, an 11-yard touchdown run here at 8:39 to go in the 4th quarter. And that, based on what we've seen here, pretty bad news for the Patriots.
It sure is. That's the first time we've really seen Willems. Well, the second time he had that 40-yard run, but the second time we've really seen him run like we've heard he can.
Set to kick the point, attempt the point after, number 18, Stevenson, to hold.
So the PAT is good, and we are now down 21-13 here. 8:39 to go. We'll take one more break here in the 4th quarter.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile.
All right, we're back here from Liberty High School, and Buchanan has taken a 21-13 lead here. They have done some good things here in the second half. Rick Van Horn, Levi Willems, who was quiet in the first half, has exploded for a touchdown and about 50 yards rushing here in the 4th quarter, basically. And Willems, who came into the game averaging about 79 yards a game, is going to be right on his average right now. This offense for Buchanan did nothing in the first half, only had about 16 plays. And the kick is going to go into the end zone, and Liberty will take over at the 20. Buchanan came into tonight's game averaging 280 yards rushing a game. They won't probably hit that tonight, but they have been effective here in the fourth quarter.
They have. They got it done when it counted. You know, there's so many more repercussions from a game like this is because you want to be that 2 seed.
Right.
You want to be that 2 or 3 seed going into the playoffs because you know Central is going to be number 1.
Yep.
And you don't want to get those guys in the semis or the quarters because it could be a short playoff season.
Right, right. All right, so 8:39 to go here. Liberty not out of it. They got a lot of time here. Taking over the 20. Gonzalez, Jonty. Finally got Jonty on a sweep. Jonty's got some running room. Jonty holds the ball, but it's recovered by Liberty, by Buchanan. Jonty had running room. He had a seam. He fumbled it, and Buchanan has come back with the ball. Recovered by number 20. Not on my roster, number 20.
That's a shocker.
Yep. But that's okay. And I was thinking to myself, Jonty's gone. This game could be tied. And then all of a sudden, the ball just kind of got loose. And now, wow.
This second half, the ball's just not bouncing Liberty's way. You know, the mystery fumble there, and after a good run by Jonty. We haven't seen Jonty too much of Jonty tonight.
I was thinking to myself, that was what we wanted to see. That was a 20-yard run. Willems, and he's immediately met by Villanueva. And Willems will have some yards taken away from his total tonight, so he'll be -1 on that one. And it'll be a 2nd and 11. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what I saw there. We'll get the replay up for you guys here momentarily. But Jonty coming around that corner, I was like, he's got a seam. He's got a way to go. That could be set. That could be 6. This game could be within 2. And now we're on the other way. So Buchanan now 2nd and long. Stevenson hands it off to Milton, and Milton's not going to go anywhere. And suddenly Liberty's defense is there. Here's the play on Jonty coming around. He's got a seam right there. He's got a great block. And then he just loses the handle on it. And there it is. So that's what set this up. The 3rd and 15 from the 46, 45-yard line. And Buchanan, after the fumble, has done nothing but go backwards. Stevenson now here on 3rd and long. He has been a factor on 3rd downs. His ability to scramble out of the pocket has been lethal at times. Throwing deep. There's a man there, and it's going to be intercepted. And Ramon Henderson is there for the interception. So you called it, Rick. You said test his arm. Test the passing game and see what happens, and we get a turnover.
Yeah, that was just a rudimentary, drop back, throw it deep, cover 3. Ramon Henderson did his job. Didn't do a great job, just did his job.
Yep, did his job,
and intercepted the ball he was supposed to intercept.
So 6:56 to go here in the game, and Liberty's going to be at the 5-yard line, 1st and 10. They got a long ways to go. You know what? I want to see Jonty get the ball again. I really do. I think he needs another opportunity here because I think he had some room there. Gonzalez going to go back to throw. Open, going back to Henderson and bat it down. Nice play. Again, underthrown a bit.
Yeah, and that ball should have been picked off.
Yep. C.J. Jones just kind of batted it down.
Yeah, you got as a DB, you got to intercept that ball.
Second and 10 now from the 5. Stewart there, trips on the near side. Ramon Henderson up on top. Jonty the nearest on the side. Hand off to Stewart. Stewart's going to run through the middle. Going to bake a tackle, and he's going to be pulled down right around the 1st down marker. I think he's going to get it. It's going to be right around the 16-yard line. So first down run.
Well, Liberty doesn't have to panic yet, you know. Got plenty of time, got 6:44 on the clock. Buchanan showing a cover 2 there, and in that you want to run the ball, and that's exactly what they did.
11-yard run by Stewart gives Liberty a first down at their own 16. Gonzalez back to pass. I tell you what, I think there's been some really good coverage tonight from the defensive backs of Buchanan. There's not much deep and not much in the middle. Gonzalez hasn't had many options. 2nd and 10 from the 16. This is why I want to see Jounty get another opportunity, because I think he's kind of underutilized tonight.
Always tough when you've got 3 or 4 good offensive players and only one football.
Yep. Trips down on the near side, and that's gonna go probably on Liberty.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
2nd and 15, back at the 11. So tough one here. As a coach, which penalty bothers you the most? Is the little false starts, or the holds? Which one upsets you the most?
Good question. You always get a hold in a crucial situation, but it's those little offsides, illegal procedure, especially by a wide receiver.
Yeah. All right, Gonzalez now after the holding call. Picked off. And again, he was trying to go to Henderson up top, and that was a killer. Brock Jones there for the interception.
Throwing into double coverage there. Corner came over, safety's there. It was didn't take his eyes off Henderson, and it was an easy play by the Buchanan DB.
So Buchanan will take over at the 45-yard line of Liberty with 6:16 to go here in the fourth quarter. Just when you think things are going to go, there's a turnover. And we've seen plenty of them tonight. I wouldn't say this has been the cleanest played game. It's been entertaining, though. Stevenson out of the shotgun, hands it off to Willems. Willems got some blockers on the outside, hops the tackle, breaks one loose. He's loose, and Stewart brings him down from behind, not before he picks up about 20 yards, right down to the 21-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 21. 24-yard gain by Willems.
Well, you've seen the adjustment Buchanan has made. They tried to pound it between the tackles that first half, and now they're calling it double G, pulling guards and everything, and getting wide with Willems on the outside.
So Levi Willems, who was very quiet in the first half, has exploded here in the fourth quarter. It's right around probably 80 yards on the night. And a touchdown. Willems again. Got some running room. And there's going to be a hold right in the middle there. Willems was following. I like the idea there. He's following number 41, Jack Skinner, the tight end, fullback, 5'11", and solid. But someone in the line held.
On the offense.
Because Willems ran right through a hole that looked suspicious. 1st and 10. I'll go back.
Hold on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
So back to the 31-yard line. 2nd and 20. So they got that right at the line of scrimmage. Clock is running here, 5:30 to go. 21-13. Liberty trying to hold here. Turnovers have been the story here in the second half. Willems with the run. He's met by
just past the line
Liberty defenders and stopped right around the 28-yard line. 3-yard gain brings up 2nd and 17.
Second and 18.
Clock
As we
continues
look down and kind of keep a glance on that Ridgeview BHS, it's 41-0 now. Conversion 42-0 now.
Well, it's going to add to the body of work as they go into SWIL. Willems running around that left side, cuts it across and breaks over to the 24-yard line. Buchanan last year was 10-3 and made their way to the Valley Championship game. And definitely feel like they're kind of in that conversation again, obviously, this year.
Well, both these teams are in the conversation.
All right. Stevenson now on 3rd and long. Willems going to go around that left side, looking for a blocker, doesn't have one. Tripped up right around the 18-yard line, 17-yard line. Here's my take on this, Rick. I'm going to say it on this limb is I think that BHS is the problem team for everybody down here because they have so much depth and so much speed. And, you know, obviously they go down and played Servite and lost a tight one down there. I don't think anybody up here, these guys will see De La Salle. And I know that Central's played, you know, a tough schedule here early.
Played, I think, Folsom and Grant.
Yep. Yeah, they've beaten Grant. So from the 25, a 35-yard field goal attempt. And that is up, and that is good. And there is a roughing the kicker call. Villanueva came in and got him. And
I thought he was going to block that, actually.
Yep. So roughing the kicker at 3:01 was a 35-yard field goal that was good.
So this might be an instance, do you take points off the board and accept the penalty, or do you take the 3?
I take the 3 at this point.
I think so,
I mean,
definitely.
You're up 11.
Yeah. Take the sure thing. It's a 2-score game now.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, 15-yard penalty. That's an automatic first down. For half the distance.
So you don't have a choice, I guess.
Wow.
So the points come off the game board.
Well, that's good for Liberty.
Yep. So it's a first down, though. Half the distance to the goal line. From the 9. First and goal from the 9. And Willems is going to run right into the end zone for a touchdown. So that worked out pretty well. And that pretty much, barring a total disaster here, will put this game out of reach for Liberty. Willems just followed his blockers. Earlier on that drive, tried the same thing around that left side, following his blockers. That called for a holding. Did the same thing. They did it right, and they score.
Well, it's not a whole lot of creativity, a lot of what they call H-tray, so they're pulling the guard and that H-back for a counter tray, and it's been working.
PAT is good. 2:56 to go here. We'll take one last break here on the night. It's 28-13. Buchanan leading Liberty.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, together we...
All right, 2:56 to go here in the fourth quarter. Liberty is trailing 28-13. I'm Lewis Amsoy, joined by Rick Van Horn, our very fine team here working this game.
You know, at this point, I do not think Buchanan's a 2-touchdown better team than Liberty.
Ramon Henderson, though, picks up the ball. There's a penalty coming in, though. Henderson is knocked down around the 21-yard line. Thanks to Stan Green and the team at the Kern High School District School Support Services. He's the director there. Brainchild of this whole operation.
During the return, block in the back by the receiving team.
And block in the back there as well. Administration of KHSD is Brian Schaefer, your superintendent, Scott Cole, deputy superintendent, Brenda Lewis, Dean McGee, and Mike Zolfa, all associate superintendents. The board of trustees is Philip Peters, who's the president, J. Brian Beatty, Joey O'Connell, Jeff Flores, and Mike Williams. The Kern High Network at kernhighnetwork.com. You can follow us on Twitter at KHD Athletics, YouTube on Kern High Network, Facebook, follow us at the Kern High Network, and Instagram, follow us at Kern_High_Network. Also, thanks to the U.S. Army, and thank for all those of you who have served. So Liberty takes over now, 1st and 10 from the 4, 2:46 to go here. Hand off to Stewart. Stewart breaks some tackles, gets loose to the 11-yard line. He's pulled up by number 7, Brock Jones, a guy who we've called his name a lot tonight. Hey. All right, here we go. 2nd down and 1. Gonzalez is in trouble. He's going to be sacked all the way back to the 1-yard line. They're going to call it a safety. Going to call him right at the 1. And Gonzalez they're going to mark him at the 5. 1:57, the clock is running. The fans are heading to the exits. Liberty will move to 2-2 on the year, Rick, and Buchanan played a very strong fourth quarter here.
They did. You know, it was a very evenly matched game for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I think a couple breaks here and there got Buchanan back in the game, and then they got a little more bounce in their step.
Gonzalez back to pass. He's going to be flushed out. Got to run and throw into coverage there. And pass complete up around the 23-yard line. Number 25.
That's a Patriot.
Nathan Mariscal Jr. Clock is running under 1:15 to go and a false start.
One thing we got to start thinking about is your Tony's Pizza player of the game.
Whoa.
Should we make Mr. Green travel to Buchanan and give it to Willems?
Yes, absolutely. Because there's Tony's Pizza, there's one in Delano. You can come down here again. I can't partake of Tony's Pizza anymore, unfortunately. I got the gluten issues now. It's really unfortunate.
You got banned, huh?
I got banned. It's one of the worst things ever. That was a nice idea, and another penalty.
Dead ball. Ball start.
I live about 75 yards from one.
Do you?
Remains first down.
They're all. I actually enjoy Tony's Pizza a lot.
Very good pizza. Barbecue chicken pizza, my favorite.
Chili Verde pizza pretty good.
Chili Verde pizza pretty good. You know, if we're talking about, we've seen a defensive struggle for 3 quarters. You know, Villanueva has stood out and played a solid game both ways.
I think Sam Stewart's done a good job too. And there's another run from Sam all the way up to the 25-yard line. And another penalty will come in. 36 seconds to go here in this game.
We may have to have Mr. Bentley or Mr. Wilson break the tie.
Yeah. I'm gonna vote for Sam Stewart.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
That's my pick tonight.
Okay. All right.
How about Blevins on the that crazy field goal? That was a pretty good one too.
Gonna have to get on his dad and get him in the weight room there.
Another penalty puts the ball first down for Liberty. And they are still trying to move.
Back to pass.
Throw
Pass complete
to Mariscal. And that should almost do it. They're going to play one more play here. That's going to be it. 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So Buchanan with the win tonight. 28-13. A good quality win for the Bears on the road for the first time ever against Liberty in Bakersfield. So Buchanan, who trails this series 2-8, coming in, gets their second consecutive win over Liberty and their first win here at Liberty. So it's a big win for these guys as they're going to hit the road against De La Salle next week. Liberty, who does Liberty play next week? We got to look at that schedule there.
They go to Clovis, I believe.
So another tough one for Liberty. So, Rick, give me your final thoughts here.
Well, we knew it was going to be a defensive struggle for both teams coming in.
Yep.
You know, it was a team that rose up and could generate some offense, and we didn't see it till the fourth quarter, and that happened to be Buchanan with the running back Willems. A couple breaks here and there. The botched punt by Liberty was big. Big.
Yeah.
And I think it was bigger than we thought because gave the ball Buchanan on the 5-yard line. Next play they go in to score. You know, I don't think Buchanan's a 2-touchdown better football team than Liberty.
No.
But they were tonight. Whether we're going to see these guys in the finals, I don't know.
I'm just going to say right now that I really think it could be a Central BHS final, which would be probably epic. And I'm going to say that not because I don't think Liberty can beat BHS. I think it's very possible. I think it'll be a very even matchup. But I think BHS right now, from what I can tell, has the advantage on speed. And the fact that they could recover from all the turnovers they had tonight, and there's another one that they're trying to go in on, says a lot to me about where the Drillers are at offensively. They made a bunch of mistakes. They still are dominating.
Have enough talent to recover
Exactly.
and still win games 42-0 against.
They got Ridgeview somehow got 6 somehow, so they're probably deep into this thing now.
Yeah.
But Liberty, I think. I mean, you talk about some of the mistakes they made tonight. Those are correctable things. You know, this is a long season still. This isn't college football. You're not playing in the polls. You're got a playoff you got to get to, and I think peaking later on at the end of the season is going to be where they're at. Things are going to have to shore up, obviously, protection of the quarterback and some upfront blocking. But this was a very strong Buchanan team, though. And we haven't seen that for a number of years. So that's going to be another.
No, you know, last year and this year, you know, with this, and give credit to Coach Matt Giordano, who's, I think this is his 4th year now. He's came in, gave Buchanan a different culture, a new culture, a tougher one than they've had because they've been a very finesse team the last 20 years where they throw the ball quite a bit. So we'll see where it goes from here.
All right, well, thanks to our crew here, the great Julian Wilson and Todd Bentley for doing the heavy lifting here. Todd did the production. Julian did the camera work. Allegedly, I'm saying that right now, I didn't see him down there, but Nick Ellis, who's the insurance guy from Taft, is down here running around somewhere taking pictures. That we'll post later on the Kern High Twitter account. Thanks so much for joining us here. Thanks to Stan Green and the rest of the Kern High School District, the U.S. Army, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. We will talk to you guys again next time. Once again, the final score from Liberty: Buchanan, number 3, 28. Number 4, Liberty, 13. Good night, everybody.